Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Nacho Over Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and we're back with another episode of Take My Money, where we look at some game found and Kickstarter projects, or really any, but those are the main two we always do, relating to board games and maybe this week board game related stuff for a couple of them. But yeah, we talk about whether or not we think these ones look interesting, just kind of give our brief initial thoughts of some of these, whether we're interested in backing or not. But yeah, let us know in the comments below if there's anything you're currently backing or hoping will come out shortly. I think there's a couple that I've seen that I'm like, oh, they're supposed to come out here somewhat soon, but I don't know if that'll actually turn into any games I back. But
Yeah.
I will say right off the bat, the one we're talking about here, God of War, the board game, was one I was pretty excited about. And yeah, I knew it was coming from Simon, so I thought, oh no, this could be very, very spendy. I think they initially made a smaller card game, or a smaller box game. I don't remember if it was just cards or not, but it wasn't. I don't think it was like badly received, but I don't think it was like anything epic or anything for being a God of War game from Simon of all things. This one is definitely the more epic looking version, where you are taking on various monsters with uh, Kratos and totally blanking on his name. His
The,
son,
the boy.
Atreus. Uh, yes, the boy. And yeah, taking on different scenarios of monsters and things like that. It made me think. I watched some gameplay of it. I think Board Game Co. did some, and it made me think a little bit of Cthulhu Death May Die via card version, um, where you're kind of trying to do or do some sort of goal or mission thing, and then it turns into kind of a boss battle at the end. You're fighting the
Yeah.
boss, and you have kind of a couple different monsters that you're facing kind of throughout that. And yeah, I thought it looked kind of interesting. I definitely was let down a bit. Just I don't know, I was maybe hoping for a little bit more, and then the cost on this one was maybe a little bit more than I was hoping. And like a lot of CMON projects, I think they've already kind of released some add-on boxes if you want like all this content. So then it's getting up there. But yeah, this one had a little controversy right off the start because they had a $70 version of the game and then a 90, and you didn't even get the stretch goals with the 70. So it's like, why am I backing this one at all? Waiting a year to get the game and not getting any special things with it. Um, and then I think they added an expansion to the other one for free, supposedly. Um, but yeah, I think it still looks interesting. Mitch is in the game. I don't know that I would back it here. It's just a little bit spendy. I think the miniatures look good, like most Simon games do, and the combat looked kind of interesting. I'm not sure from play to play. It definitely does not seem as exciting to me as Cthulhu Death May Die, where you've got it can by the end can be just a ton of dice that you're rolling. In this one, you can seems like maybe you'll get a bigger and bigger hand of cards, so you could maybe put together some better combos and stuff, some better attacks, some cool things like
Yeah.
that. So there is that part, but something about the dice is a little bit more exciting than the cards to me.
Yeah, dice are it's just fun to throw them and see what you get. And it's hard to replicate that with cards, even though it can be exciting, just getting a hand of cards or seeing what you got and pairing them together perfectly. And that can be equally as satisfying, maybe more satisfying, but I think you do lose a little bit of the excitement when playing kind of a cinematic type of game. I feel like dice are a little more fitting for what we look for.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. But yeah, the system in this one with the fighting and trying to get so what you're trying to do compared to maybe I don't think Cthulhu Death May Die has anything like this. You are trying to make it so like both people are damaging things so that you get like additional bonuses. So it's kind of cool that you're trying to kind of work together and not have one person just do the killing of the full creature, whatever it may be. So trying to combo those together. So I thought that was pretty cool when it said like a 1 to 2 player game, but then like almost right away to make up for that, where they added that expansion. The expansion was a 3 to 4 player or up to 4 player variant. So then I was like, okay, well, the 1 to 2 seemed like kind of a cool thing. Like, oh, is this intended to just be 2? And it made it feel kind of a little special in that way. But then when it went up to 4, I'm like, okay, so I don't know if the 1 to 2 is then very special, or if it's just it was always really designed as a 4 player game, cooperative, and it trying to combo all the people together. Then at that point, I think I haven't really looked at it that much. I think this one will be one I'll maybe take a look at after the fact. I think it's just too much, but it's doing pretty well. 3,000 backers, 405,000, about a week to go.
Yeah.
But I would almost think, I don't know, God of War seems like it should be doing better than that. But
Yeah,
maybe it isn't as popular in the board gaming sphere as I would think.
yeah, that could be. That could be.
Hard to say.
Dice of Steam.
A little
Roll
bit
the
smaller.
dice. Lay the tracks. A little bit smaller. It's got 169 backers. Over $2,700 here, and this, as you can tell from the pencils, the dice, is a roll and write game, roll and write train board game. And this one, you roll the dice and you mark things off on the board. I think it'll kind of cool. Where's the board here? So you kind of roll the dice, and that determines one of the die which of the colors that you will develop and put out onto the board, depending on the types of spots. They'll cost more to go on the board, depending on the terrain. More action points, I believe, to put on the board. But as you can see, the colors are spreading throughout the map here, and you'll get, I think each color gets more points once they get into a city, and then if they're first there, if anyone else later gets to that city, the colors already there also get a point. So you're increasing their value, and then also, I think, buying into them to score at the end of the game. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, so yeah, you're set. You can, I think, you can choose to do the investment die.
Oh, yep.
So there's another die you could get, and then you kind of do a similar thing where you'd pick between those, and then you can, I think, either buy into that or trade it for one of equal or lesser value. Or something. So yeah, it seemed interesting. I don't know that it stands out enough to go and get it necessarily, but I think there was a print and play version of this one. So if you're into that, I think it's worth doing if you like this style of game where you're kind of making routes on a map for these different ones and buying stocks. It seems like it should be kind of a nice small package for that.
Yeah, it's just a nice, solid little system.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's gonna be a cheap one. It's gonna be on the print and play. It's gonna be about $4. Or else you can go to the Steam magnet and get everything from Steam Investor with addition of 3 map sets, Dice of Steam add-ons, bring it up to like $9. Rail Pioneer, everything from that. In addition to that, more and more stuff. 13 Rail Baron, everything up from that plus more. So yeah, at most it's gonna be $25 for a pledge level. So
yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, not awful.
Yeah, they have some previous games here. I'm not sure if we looked at any of these ever.
I don't know. I don't remember them.
I don't think
so. Looks like those would be a part, I believe, of that last one, maybe.
Yeah.
I think so. Those look interesting too. Maybe worth looking into, but yeah, I don't know that I'll back this one. We haven't actually printed and played anything. Let us know in the comments below if you have printed stuff off, how easy you've found it to be. I know whenever I use our printer, it's just like, oh, out of ink, even if I just put ink in it. And I don't know if you should be using like a different type of printer, or like, I don't know if libraries sometimes have printers or stuff, if it's better to do it at specific places. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. Boy, and then an even smaller game, a tiny game, tiny epic Game of Thrones. This one is over 9,000 backers, which I guess it's an existing series of games with the Tiny Epic games. And it's existing IP of Game of Thrones, which is decently popular. And that has over $430,000 as which, I mean, I'd expect it to do well, being both things that people like, but this seems very well.
Yeah, it's actually more than I would have thought. When I heard it, I was just like, oh boy. Now they're just digging for cash, just trying to use IPs to get, because it just feels, and I haven't actually played any of Tiny Epic games, so I don't know for sure kind of how any of them feel. I think you played one of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I've wanted to try some, but I know well, from what I've heard, they've been kind of mixed, some being better than others. So I just feel like there's a lot of them, and I thought, oh, this is just a way to sell another one. But then when I was looking at it, it did seem kind of interesting. But at the same time, I was like, I feel like this should have been a bigger game than this. Like, I don't know if it needed to be a tiny epic game. I think it almost should have been more of a, I don't know, Ticket to Ride size box or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if they pack a really good game and make it compact and into a tiny epic game, if you really enjoy it, you kind of are thinking, well, I kind of want a bigger version of this. So
Right.
cool. Maybe I want it to take up a little more space in my collection. Um, so yeah, I could see that. It does look cool. I like Tiny Epic Zombies is the one I played, and I like that one, and I like the variability that they're able to pack into it with either different game modes, which it looks like they had a few different ways you can play: competitive multiplayer, competitive solo, cooperative multiplayer, cooperative solo. I think it was similar for the one I played as well as different missions and characters to play, which it looks like you have a bunch of different characters that you can play here as well. Yeah, it looks like it has a lot of really cool components, custom dice and wooden components, metal coins. Very nice productions, at least from the one that I've played.
Yeah, and this all looks really great. I do like the Game of Thrones IP. I don't have any Game of Thrones games, but this one's kind of talking to me. It just a lot of stuff looks really good, and it looks like it's kind of card driven a bit, and you got the dice as well. I do like that. Um, yeah, it was weird to me that you can get the deluxe game where you can get the deluxe plus cooperative expansion for $5 more. Not sure why the cooperative isn't a part of the other one. I don't know if it just doesn't fit in the box, which
Oh,
then
maybe.
it's kind of unfortunate because then it's like, okay, well now I've got two boxes dedicated to this,
Yeah.
and could have just had one bigger one versus having to have two. I don't. Maybe that's not. Maybe it does all fit in the box. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
A little more
Otherwise,
for
you can
50.
get some little minis.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to think. Probably I mean it's only $5 more, so probably would just bump up to that max level, which
I think so.
again, $50, it's probably pretty good if you were thinking, oh, a Kickstarter Game of Thrones game, you're thinking that's gonna be $200 or something like that.
That's true.
But then I guess I don't know how big it's actually gonna feel. It's gonna feel worth uh half $100, and I guess what is the shipping going to be here? Oh, we got a lot of stuff here. Shipping details would be deluxe game would be $10, so not too much for shipping. On the lower end, I would
But
say.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it'll be $65.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't watch any videos of people playing it as to how big it actually was on the table, if they had any. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm still interested in it. I don't know if I'd back it here or not. I think if I wanted for sure that expansion and the minis, it's probably worth it to back it here.
Yeah.
But I might just end up eventually at some point getting it as the base game. I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
usually available, the Tiny
I
Epic
think so.
ones.
I think
So
so.
see what people rank it after they receive their copies of it. Yeah, it's doing really well, which is surprising. I mean, I guess there was House of the Dragon, but I mean, Game of Thrones has been done for a
Oh,
while now, so that was a part of it too. Like, I don't know if it's as hot as it once was, but
yeah.
yeah, the number of backers would prove otherwise. I guess I don't know what they usually get on their game, how many they usually have for
Yeah.
backers.
That's true. So to check. Awkward Guess 2. The Berwick cases. So Awkward Guess I've heard of. It's a deduction game. I don't know exactly how it plays, but I know that people obviously here it as a seal of excellence for Awkward Guess. I just know it is quite loved. And here is a sequel, which is for 2 players, I believe.
Mhm.
And I don't think that the original game was limited to just 2 players. I actually don't know, but
Yeah, I guess I don't know either.
so I had no clue about that. But in this one, you each, okay, so I guess we have over 1,700 backers, over $60,000. And this one, each of you, so there's the twins here. One of you has orchestrated the murder of one of them, and the other person has to figure out all the details of that. And then they have to then orchestrate the murder of the other twin, while you, who orchestrated the first one, have to figure out that one. That's pretty cool. I like that little
It's an interesting little
yes,
thing.
weird twist.
It is. Yeah. I don't know what I think about the artwork exactly. I'm not sure how I feel exactly, but um the concept of it sounded very interesting. But then when I was like looking at some of the things you're drawing on and stuff, I'm like, this makes it look more complicated than I would have imagined this would be, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it just looks like it because it was like, if I remember right, it was like, oh, they go through these rooms and they grabbed a weapon on the way and did this, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay, that seems a little complicated, but probably works. It sounds
Yeah.
interesting. I would definitely play it if I had the chance to.
Yeah. Yeah, I would as well. Yeah, I don't know if we I guess yeah, this is a 2 player deduction game, so it probably works. I feel like a lot of deduction games are better with higher player count,
Yep.
so this would probably be one to check out for us since we do play a lot of games at 2 player.
Yeah, that's true. And it's kind of unlike any two-player games we currently have.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's got
I can get
about $10 of shipping.
$10. And then the pledges are so 48 hours, so about $25 here for the
Mhm.
base game, or else you can get a companion book, bring it up to $32. Get another
Companion book,
companion book,
I think.
bring it up to $40, or get 6 of all the things and $213. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I think I would just get the base game.
yeah, I think so. So that'd be about $35 total. Not bad.
Not awful,
Yeah.
especially on Kickstarter
Yeah.
or GameFound, whichever one.
Yes. On to Game Found with Cat Packs. Cherry pick the most magnificent gang of cats the world has ever seen. Oh boy.
This one's got 200 backers, about 9,300 euros, about a week to go. And yeah, right off the bat, I'll say I'm not the biggest fan of cats.
Yeah.
Uh, but I feel like board games has helped me come come to maybe respect them a little bit more. Give them a little bit more respect, but I'm more of a dog person still. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I something about this I do like the look of the game. I don't know why. It's definitely a different art style. I think it's going to be one that some people don't like, and
Meow
then
boy.
my kind of humor there. But yeah, the gameplay of this one seemed relatively simple as to what you're doing. You're trying to kind of put together your gang of cats, I guess,
Yeah.
and you have to match the sides. You can see
Yeah.
there's different colors on each side. You have to make sure that those actually match in order to be able to place the cats. And then you're trying to score what are they called? Whatever the stars are in the
Cat
game.
shine.
Cat shine in
Yes.
various different ways. Some cards need to be like surrounded
Corners.
orthogonally. In the corner, if you complete, you have 4 kind of in a square. And I think there's some other ways to do it as well. I think at your power is or looked at the end of each of the rounds or something to see kind of who has the most, and I think you can earn some that way as well. Just seemed kind of cool.
Yeah, that seemed cool.
For
like,
what it is.
There's a lot packed into the cards. I like that. I like games like that where it's simple. You just pick a card up, you play a card, and there's multiple different effects that card could have or possibly count towards scoring.
Yeah, I always like that in games. There's something about having the outsides of the cards have to match like that. Something cool about that. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen that before. Where you have to position it a certain way because they have to get along.
Yeah, because like lanterns, you don't have to match it. You get bonuses if you match it, but so yeah, that's cool as well. As long as it's not too tough.
That's true.
To get those pieces.
I guess I'm assuming that it is easy enough to find something that fits in these spots, but I guess if not, that could be kind of disappointing if you're having to just create a long line because you can only connect them on one side or something.
Okay, so we got the cat pledge, which is 20 euros, or else the deluxe cat, which looks like it has wooden kaboobs for those, for 33 euros. There, you can get some art in there, it looks like, or play mats.
Yep, the play mats.
Pretty cool. I like those.
Yeah, they do look pretty good. A grand cougar for even more. Some more play mats. If you need a lot of play mats.
More play mats. More deluxe retailer.
10 copies of it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Probably wait to check it out. I don't know if is it going to be too light? Is it going to be worth actually going out and getting?
That is
there a hole in our collection that this needs to fill, or it's better just to hope to maybe get it online somewhere at Board Game Arena or something, maybe like that.
Guess what did it have for shipping?
Oh yeah, shipping was 15 euros for the world. I have Sweden.
Yeah, then it's getting up there for. I mean, I like the idea, but it also just it feels like maybe a smaller card game overall.
Yeah.
And to me, once you start getting into what is that in US dollars, it's probably around $50 to $60. Starts being a bit much for something that I would be getting for being a little bit more on the simpler side and, being easy, quick turns. I'm assuming that's what it feels like it would be. And doing kind of easier on the brain type of thing.
Yeah. Maybe just adds. Maybe just get some of these play mats.
They are pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Mindbug Battlefruits. I don't know.
The saga continues.
I have not played any Mindbug games that I am aware of. Was Richard Garfield involved in all of them? Or previous series?
I went to one that I guess I don't know for a fact that it was the first one, but Tom Bassel, the Dice Tower, was talking about it, and he was involved in that one, and I thought that was the first one. So I think he's been at least involved in other ones. I don't think this is the first one he was.
Okay.
But yeah, it's doing pretty well. 287,000 euros, almost 3,000 backers. Another week to go. This one. I didn't realize what this was. For some reason, I don't know what I thought this game was, but I did not realize it was like packs of cards.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least that's what the one that the prior one that I watched that Tom had, and it was like just a pack of cards. And then I was looking at this, I'm like, man, this kind of what this looks like too is just kind of some tuck boxes of cards to kind of do some battles and stuff. So I was like, I did not realize it was like a small game. And then I don't know if it was Tom might have said it or some comment or something, said something about Magic the Gathering Light.
Kind of like that. Oh, okay. It feels different, but similar. That's kind of the feel I was getting from this. I'm like, oh, this is just like one of those.
Which he did, right?
I guess, I don't know the term for that type of game. forget every time.
Which Richard Garfield did Magic the Gathering, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
then this one has a tag team version.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess neither of us have played any of it, so I don't even know what that would be like exactly because I don't know the original. Yeah, I'm a little interested in this. I think this is one that I would, if I saw it at a convention or something, I would try out. I like just kind of some interesting artwork,
Oh, yeah.
interesting character, interesting world where the fruits mixed with life form or something and became whatever. Yeah, kind of interesting. It makes for some interesting artwork.
Yeah.
Different world.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I would agree. And yeah, a lot of like the upgraded components in some of these options look pretty cool. But yeah, then again, it becomes a bit spendier.
Yeah, so if you're just getting
for what it is.
New stuff, that's going to be 35 euros. New stuff, but deluxe, 55 euros. New deluxe content all in, going to be 115, or all you can eat. So I believe everything there is.
All deluxe legacy bundle.
239 euros, which is getting up there.
It is getting up there. You're starting to get into I haven't played Magic the Gathering either, but starting to get up to their prices, I assume.
Yeah. But I mean, this is like your favorite game, and I'm sure that is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, it is kind of feels like one of those things where, yeah, obviously having no experience in it, it's not like we have a pull to it, but I'm sure if we had played it and it was one we really liked, if it was something like unmatched for us, we would probably be backing it.
Yep. And then the shipping probably be around 17
12 to $20.
$20, yeah.
So, yeah, maybe someday I'll play Mindbug.
Oh boy, Snowcrest. I really like this cover.
I do.
Because I don't know
as well.
the artist, but it's making me think of Flow with Andrew Bosley artwork in the snow. I really like that, and this is making me think of that. Up close, it probably looks a little different, but
I would agree. But yeah, I saw this cover and I really like the look of this one as well. Yeah, this one's got 16,000, I think, Australian dollars, 272 backers, over a week to go. But yeah, this was one I was pulled in by that artwork. It just seemed cool. The name, I like the name as well. And yeah, this seems like one of those that maybe Kickstarter GameFound were made for. This
boy.
I think there's one other one. I can't remember if we already went through it. I was thinking two different ones, but now I don't remember if we've already went past. I don't think it would have been Mindbug or
Cat Packs. Awkwardness.
It might have been Cat Packs.
Oh yeah, that feels like one.
When the Kickstarter was for. But yeah, I like the artwork on the cards on this one too. And then you're making a little tableau, and you're choosing you to possibly activate those cards, and to refresh those cards, you need to get them in like a row of used or actions, which I thought was pretty interesting. So you've got limited ones, and you can kind of choose how long you want to go before doing that, because I think you're forced to flip them back over as a rest action once you did.
So yeah, you either activate a card in your village, performance action, flipping it face down, or add a new village card to your 3x3 village, or rest by receiving resources and flipping all your villagers face up. When players choose to rest is the core of the game. You must choose to rest if and only if you have 3 cards face down in a row. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty cool. And then you got the resources from the ones that were still face up. I thought that was a very cool part too. I don't know exactly how the gameplay works on this, but that concept seems very cool.
Yeah, and it reminds me of a game that I haven't played, but Monumental has a city board here where you have your cards, put them in, and I think you're choosing a row or column to activate. Or maybe you choose one and you do both the row and column. I forget at this point. It's been years since I learned the rules to it, and still haven't played it. But it's something like that.
Why
and
haven't you played it, Pepper?
I don't know. Just haven't gotten around to it.
Haven't received it yet. There's your
But
Kickstarter game found warning. You may not receive these products.
may not. Gotta have that
Or
on the
maybe
sleeve.
years. Maybe years.
But yeah, this was getting me excited about this because that reminded me of Monumental, and this looks like an equally unique system to whatever that was, and it has me interested for sure. Which
I would agree.
now you're a little worried. You're like, uh-oh, I'm gonna
Okay,
curse it
Pepper.
for you if I'm excited for it.
Pepper's interested. Oh no.
And the price looked pretty good as well. Or I guess I don't know what it is in US dollars. I thought I saw something that converted it.
Yeah, I think US is
Written.
less than Australia, or I mean, I think it costs less in US, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I saw something too, but now I don't remember where it was.
Oh, it must be here. Okay, so yeah, the base one, normal version would be 24 US dollar,
Pretty
which I thought was
reasonable.
really, really good price.
Yeah, it looooks like a pretty good quality game too. So.
Upgraded to some wooden components would be 36 US dollar. Shipping probably be a little bit more. Still not the worst. I mean, you're still coming in under 60, or around or under $60, which is pretty good. It's a tempting one.
It is, and I guess I don't know what else. What is it, Grail Games? I don't know what else they've done, and at the current amount of backers, I don't know if this one is likely to go to retail after the fact. I mean, if Grail Games has done other games that have gone to retail, then I would assume that this one also would. But
yeah,
if they have not, I would not assume based on unless this one really, really picks up and gets thousands and thousands of people, I don't want to assume that it would be available after the fact.
Yeah. And Earth Abundance expansion. So an expansion to that very popular game, Earth, which I think we both enjoy quite a bit, but we do not have the physical version. So we just got to hope that this expansion goes over, makes its way onto Board Game Arena.
Yes, that's exactly where it has to go. That's what I was thinking as well. I was like, well, actually, I probably don't care as much about getting the expansion, just because I think there's a lot of the base game to still explore, personally. But yeah, it's on Board Game Arena, so even if we bought the expansion physical copy, it wouldn't do us much good. But yeah, this one's doing pretty well, 616,000. Less than 9,000 backers, so not quite as good as Tiny Epic Game of Thrones, I think. Was that the one with 9,000 or was it a different one?
I believe so. Yeah.
So about a little over a week to go. But yeah, this one kind of looked like more or less of the same, kind of a couple new things to interact with other players, some cards that did that. So that was interesting. But I don't know what, since we don't have the physical copy, I don't know what the actual components and stuff look like in real life. But I know that was one of the reasons why I wasn't I was like, stacking those cylinders up and whatever might be kind of a pain, easy to knock over, get them all mixed up.
Yeah.
But then they introduced some cool stuff in this one. That's probably my favorite part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those look nice as well. I don't know if that's what they looked like originally or if that's something new.
Oh yeah, I think those are new things in there.
Those are new.
Yeah, I think they said that they're including thanking for the support. Anyone who gets an expansion during the crowdfunding period will get a free upgrade pack of the resources that are in this expansion.
No,
it's pretty nice.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that is good. But yes, once I started looking at some of these things, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They're trying to pull me in. But then I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, it's going to cost me probably even more money at that point, because then I'd need the base game and I'd need to get these. So then it's going to probably be a little bit more spendy, and I'm like, is it worth that versus just playing it online? and keeps track of making sure I do everything in the right order and make sure I do everything in general. Probably not, but I think if you love Earth, this looks like some more good stuff for the game. I don't think it's going to change it too majorly.
No, just
I think I've cooled on most expansions. And I don't know if this one will necessarily be one of those that I'd cool on. It seems like it would be easy to add in. I know some of them will add just enough stuff that it's like just makes it harder to get to the table. I don't know if that'll be the case with this one, but I think it looks good. I do really like those bits that you can buy though. Those things are what almost pulled me in.
All those bits, I'm like, are those base game or not? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I thought they were. New. I think those are new.
Must be new.
Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure they were just wooden. Like at least the ones that were stacking were wooden, and now they look more like a plasticky that can stack on each other. So I think, but if you keep scrolling down, $30 is probably about the most I'd pay for an expansion.
80. Yeah, it's. Oh boy. There's the bits. There's the deluxe resources. Oh my goodness. Yeah, if you want the game, and it's a great game, and want the game with the expansion, $80 is not too bad. Even without the deluxe upgrade, it's still pretty good components.
I would agree.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty solid game, and you can go try it on Board Game Arena.
Yes,
you can check out our video talking about whether we think you need the physical copy or not.
$75 upgrade pack.
Oh boy,
those are nice though.
They are very nice. But see what I meant? Gonna have to spend over $100 just to get the base game.
But
I don't know about that.
Not too spendy. Well, max pretty much $20 shipping. So
yeah, it should be not bad.
On to New Kingdom, Sowers. It's got over 100 backers, almost $3,000. This is a 1 to 2 player game inspired by the parable of the sower.
Yes, I don't know why I like the look of this art. It reminded me of something. I don't know if it's like a Disney or Pixar movie look.
It does.
Or something.
These look like Disney characters. They really do.
So something about that, I don't know, had me interested in the game, and just obviously it sounds like a Zach title. I think at first I thought it just was called Sowers.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that sounds like a very Euro-y game. And it kind of is, it kind of isn't. It's more of just a card game, I would say. And it seemed like a shorter game, like you said, 1 to 2 players, so kind of a smaller one. And it's about kind of going through this deck of cards. You each have a deck of cards, and you've got like these, I think, yellow seeds and brown seeds or something, and you've got to get the brown ones in order, kind of like in solitaire, and you have to use the other ones in order to kind of manipulate your hand and deck to kind of get those cards out there, and you're kind of just trying to be the first one to do it, or just be able to do it at all, because if you can no longer play cards out there, then I think you lose as well. And there's different types of soil, so then placing it on these different locations allows you to do different things, like maybe draw some cards and then put 4 cards either back on the top of your deck or on the bottom to kind of go through cards. It's on a kind of interesting. I don't know if it'd be one that would be like replayable and be interesting over and over. It seemed like you'd be kind of either doing the same thing or possibly relying on luck of when the cards come into your hand. Couldn't really tell. That's kind of how it felt to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like kind of a card version of like maybe a slider puzzle or something like that, where you're kind of playing cards down, pulling them back, discarding some, and just trying to maneuver it to pretty much, I guess, play all those black seed cards at once. Just seemed like it could be a cool way with the different ways that you can play cards. Cool way to just manipulate your hand and your deck.
Yeah, I thought there were some cool ways, but I didn't know if it seemed like it was quite enough for me.
Yeah,
Enough
yeah.
to actually buy it and whatever. I think I would try it out. It'd be one I'd see. Like if it was on Board Game Arena or something, I'd definitely give it a go, see if I enjoyed it or not. But from what I see on here, I don't know that it'd be one that I would buy. Seems maybe a little light in a couple ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of makes me. It's not really because you're doing your own and stuff, but it makes me think of Lost Cities a little bit too, like a Lost Cities or
Oh, yeah,
Arboretum and
yeah.
manage. And I like both of those games quite a bit, so it does take a lot to be kind of a hand management game that sticks out to me.
Yeah, yeah. So you got a $1 pledge for support. You can do $3 to get a print and play or print and play pledge manager. And then Sower tier will get a physical copy for $24. New Kingdom Gaming tier, big pledge, get everything in the Sower tier, plus get New Kingdom Gardeners. So another game of theirs, Kickstarter edition. So not too expensive if you are just getting this base game, but like you said, it is a small game.
Yep.
And then shipping will be pretty good as well, $5 United States or $9 international.
Yeah, definitely not an awful price. Especially too if you do print and play some of your games, it could be pretty good price for that. Especially if you have a good way of making solid cards,
Oh
some
yeah,
good card
yeah,
stock or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a smaller one. I don't know that it's going to be easily available after the fact. So if this does look interesting or like something you would like to play, especially if you play a lot of games at two players, it might be
Yeah.
worth backing here. Because yeah, I don't know how likely it will be to see retail.
Yeah. Is this what Kickstarter is made for?
Yeah, this one is as well. I think it's definitely a smaller feeling game that might not appeal to as many people.
Yeah.
It looks good.
And the last actual board game that we'll be covering today is Bloomchasers, delightful 3D tree game of flowers and wits. But you're looking at that tree, if that gets you excited, feel like this is the game that's probably going to be for you.
Yes. And I thought at first it looked interesting, but then once I realized how it was being played, I was like, "Oh boy, I don't think this is me." But it
That's
does
true.
have 4,000 backers and is over $180,000, so I thought, we better give it a look. And
I
yeah,
guess it might not be for you. It might be a little misleading because there's definitely looks like there could be some cutthroat elements.
yes. That was what I was worried about. It kind of made me think of some of those cutthroaty things, especially to me this by the end of it seems like kind of an abstract strategy type game.
Yeah.
With elements of right there. Oh boy, placing that right there. So hey, you ain't gonna be able to place your flowers there. That part to me, I was like, oh, okay, I don't know about this because
Yeah.
there are some I do like, but then there are ones that I'm just like, oh, this is just really frustrating, and it
Yeah.
kind of makes me think of Control as well, and it makes me think, oh, are those gonna be falling off and accidentally? I don't. This isn't the
Yeah.
same people that made that. I have no reason to believe that they'll fall off, but
So it looks like when they
just
put the
anything like
flowers
that.
on there, it never looks like it's that secure.
Yeah,
Like those
I
ones,
would
I'm
just be
like, how
afraid.
secure is that? That one for sure is secure because it goes all the way through it. I'd like to see in person, or maybe I'll watch some more videos just to see, make sure that it is going to all stick together. I would hope it would. But yeah, it looks really cool at the
It
end of
looks
the
cool.
day.
It definitely looks cool. And that's what got my attention initially. Made me think of like Legos or something at first.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I saw that and it made me think of that. And I'm like, oh, that would scare me a little bit if it did easily fall off or came apart or something. Cause then it's like, then, in this game, it does matter where things are and stuff. So it
Yeah.
might be hard to remember exactly the orientation of
Uh,
things if multiple fell off or something.
yeah. And if it really, because I think it kind of creates a grid pretty much of,
Mhm.
I'm guessing like hexes. is what you're creating, and hopefully it does all kind of set into place and very clear as to what's next to what. But yeah, and then you can probably play. Well, there's a fully co-op mode, play together as a team, or even solo, 2v2 mode or solo mode. But yeah, so you can play probably pretty friendly, but you can also play cutthroat, where to place the flowers on there, which take like 3 spots, only 2 of them have to actually be yours. So you can put it on 2 of your spots and maybe also use up one of your opponent's spots to place your flowers, which is kind of where some of that possible take that comes in, where you're not only just using their homework, but also slowing them down. But then they can do the same thing to you.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. I think you're gonna have an idea of this is if it is for you. But I don't think that I'd be backing. I thought maybe if one of us was going to be more interested in it, it was probably going to be you. You do like the abstract games a little bit more. It seems like, especially like things like this where you have to be a little bit sneaky sometimes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I like it. I like the look of it. And got the birds and the bees expansion. Not the bees. It's what was the price going to be? So base game was going to be $30, which is a cool toy for $30.
Yeah. You could just kind of have it as an ornament or some
and so you
sitting
can leave it
around.
up afterward, and I think you probably could. It looks very nice. Get an expansion on there for $15 more as well.
Yeah, not an awful price. Not an awful price.
Shipping US is going to be $5. Very nice.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, not
January of 25. I guess we haven't really been looking at the dates of when these are delivering, but yeah, this one looks like beginning of next year, possibly. But yeah, not a bad price for what you're getting there, because yeah, it is really cool. And yeah, if you really ended up not liking the game, if you think this is something that would look cool out on a, I don't know, desk, table, something, I think it could look pretty cool in that as well. Especially if you do get those birds. Look at that cute bird.
Those birds, very cute. Yeah, I think like even kids, just let the kids play with it. Pretty fun.
That's true. That's true.
I shouldn't recommend it. It's probably got 2 small pieces. They'll
that's true.
That's probably why the box says
small pieces.
14 plus or whatever.
Yeah, exactly why it says that.
And then we get into the non-board game projects here, and there's actually 2 of them that we'll be looking at. It is some gaming tables. So we have the Modular table by Wyrmwood, and then the Megan Plus board game table by Geeknson.
Yes, and so these are definitely
doing really pretty well, making a good chunk of money.
They are both doing quite well, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and yeah, these are definitely kind of the upper end of what you can do and spending for your gaming hobby, and it's definitely not necessary for everyone. But I do know I have been in the market for a gaming table. Just because I really like the looks of so many of them, and I just figured it'd be a good, especially since a lot of them, I think, have the system, and I think both of these do as well, where you can kind of put a topper on and have kind of a game underneath, and be playing something on top of it too. I think there's just times that would be useful. Could get maybe, I don't know, could get some more bigger games to the table potentially if you wanted to play them like multiple times in a row
out there
or campaign.
Yeah.
So so I thought I might as well show both of these in case anyone else is looking for tables and maybe didn't see either of these campaigns. But yeah, there's definitely options in both of these as to different upgrades and things you get. So prices are all over the place for these ones. Because it all depends on how big of a table you want. If you do want that topper on there, what kind of wood you want. All these different things, and I think these ones have the Wyrmwood woods have some bundles where you get I think like $500 of accessories along with whatever table you picked, and I think you can pick if you want it wider or not. I thought these ones looked pretty slick, pretty cool, and I like the fact that I don't know Not saying it isn't in other tables because I know there are a ton of them out there, different types. But I did like the fact that this one had the magnetic strip on the outside and the inside
Oh,
for
yeah.
cups or boards or whatever you want. Uh, your prime energy drink. Uh, pretty much anything. They've got it for this as well. You've got all these different options. I wasn't sure. I think the one thing I was like, average on was probably the kind of. I think it's the. I think they use like a felt or something, and it
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of was like a thinner matte thing that goes down in there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe maybe if I saw it, I would think differently of it, but just compared to some of the other options that I've seen, it didn't seem maybe quite as cool as others, but I think it'll give a good feel. I think it's kind of maybe poker table esque. I'm not 100% sure on
Oh,
that,
yeah. Yeah, probably.
but yeah, there's all these different accessories you can get, which all were pretty cool. I thought the one outside of cup holders, which I think I'd get no matter what table I got,
Yeah.
I'd hope it had cup holder ones. This one had kind of, if you go up again, it had I don't remember what they call it down, the right there, the hobby vault,
Oh, yeah.
which I thought looked pretty cool. I
Yeah.
don't play RPGs. It definitely would look cool for that or be cool for that,
Oh,
especially if you
yeah.
had like a
Sure.
dungeon master and stuff. But I feel like it could maybe be used for other things as well.
Yeah,
You
I
could just
think
have that
so.
on the table and
Extra
roll.
dice or anything like that that you'd need.
Yeah, yeah. And I think this was the piece too that you could, if you really wanted to kind of split into two smaller games, you could kind of have that in the middle
Yeah.
of the table and kind of split it into two halves in a way. So I thought that one was probably the coolest thing that this one offered. And it looks like you can get neoprene mats,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's a lot of good stuff. It'd be a lot of work to go through and see exactly what you need, and it's gonna be spendy. But
Right. I think the
they made
Wyrmwood one's a little more spendy, but
yeah, yeah. If you want to see them tested, it looks like they put it through some extreme tests. Where was that video? I probably scrolled by it. Looked like he was swinging a sledgehammer at it. And the Megan
yeah.
Plus also doing very well, hundreds of thousands. Uh, yeah, I forget. I'm probably mixing all of these up, so I probably try not to say too many specific things because I'll just mix up what details are in which ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, various sizes here as well.
Hmm.
Forget we have been blessed with a gigantic table
We
currently,
have
so
been.
it's a blessing but also a curse because you don't want to go smaller than what you've had previously.
Exactly. Because, yeah, sometimes like we play some of our bigger games, especially if we get, play them at 4 or 5, maybe even 6 players. Like this table, like will hold some of that stuff. I'm like, my goodness, if we had any smaller of a table,
Yeah,
and this is just kind of an older dining table, and it was never intended for board game use. So it just was by luck that our parents had this sized table, and then we got into board gaming, and it happened to be, I guess, a larger table. I didn't realize how large it was in comparison to others, because I think it kind of is similar size to like for both of these, like more
yeah,
of the kind of
just stuff.
Megan Crown or the large or whatever of the
Yeah,
other one. So kind of the biggest option, some of the biggest options on there. I just didn't realize how big this table was in comparison. But like you said, that kind of spoils you into like,
yeah.
well, I need that at least.
So we're gonna have to start overlapping player boards and main board if we get any smaller.
Yeah. But yeah, this one's got kind of the modularity as well, where you got a lot of add-ons and stuff. I think out of the ones I've looked at so far, I think the option here for um, kind of the actual playing surface was probably one of my favorite.
Oh,
Outside of the, you can get it in two pieces. If it could just be the one single piece one, I think they have that option as well. I
yeah.
think this one kind of looked like the coolest surface I've seen.
Mhm.
Outside of if you like neoprene mats and stuff, then
Yeah.
obviously I think you can kind of go with anything. Uh, but then it was like showing like dice bouncing off this, and it goes up to the ceiling, maybe to outer space. I don't know, couldn't really tell. But
Some say they're still up there today.
But yeah, this one's kind of got a similar. It doesn't have that whatever, but you can kind of it has like a T
Yeah.
wood thing that you can kind of cut off part of the table if you don't want to use the entirety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one has less options for like wood styles and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
if I remember right. So if that really matters to you, or you're trying to match with something, this one won't give you as many options with that. But then I think they're also selling other accessory other things. So if you need to store
Your
your board
furniture.
games and stuff, yeah, they're furniture products.
Yeah.
You've got the option to add on some of those as well.
Look into
Yeah,
my
I've never
storage
really thought of
space.
getting one of these. Like I think they both kind of have these like smaller coffee table like options, and I've just never thought of ever getting like one of those. I don't know why. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, but I've just thought of like I don't know that I'd actually sit there and play a
Yeah.
game because
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
kind
true.
of a awkward height and stuff. But
Yeah,
if you like that, I don't know.
yeah, kind of like we said, we're just been blessed to have an area and a table to dedicate to games to where we don't find ourselves playing on coffee table or any other table
Yeah,
really in the house.
that's true. If you had less room, that probably would be what you'd need to do. Get kind of a smaller thing that you could make work. I've also not really considered that. I think they both kind of have these hexagon options as well. I've never really considered those either. It just seems kind of awkward to me, but they probably would be. It probably would work, but just
Depends on
seems a
the
little
game
weird.
for sure.
Well, yeah, it depends on the game.
Yeah,
But yeah, you got definitely have a
there's
wide.
there's the dice.
Yeah, look at this.
Okay, wooden floor, neoprene mat, and then the fabric on here. Oh boy, look at that bounce.
We can only assume he put his hand. Whoever dropped that put their hand there to block it from going through the ceiling. Did some major damage to their hand. I can only imagine. No, I like the look of this one as well. I think they both look like really great tables. So just wanted to feature them in case anyone is looking for tables. I think these both look like good options, but they're both quite spendy as well.
Yeah,
So definitely not for everyone. Um,
yeah, for sure.
and yeah,
And even like all the little accessories will be expensive.
yeah, it just
It's like,
adds on so
just
much.
for like a little tray here, it's another 40.
That's what gets you. It's kind of like
It
in
is.
Minnesota where it's the wind that gets you. It's these little add-ons that get you. You're like, well, the table's not that bad, you know. I mean, relatively,
Yeah,
uh, in the maybe 2,000 range. You get to that when you got your table and stuff, and then all of a sudden, well, but then I need some add-ons, and then all of a sudden it's
yeah.
$4,000, $5,000
It's
or
like,
something.
well,
It's like, oh boy.
yeah. Well, everyone should have a cup holder, so let's get 4 to 6 of those for another $300.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it gets to be a lot, but if you're using it all the time, um,
yeah, that's true. I would think it'd be a good investment. But one
yeah.
of these days we will get one, and then we will let you know if it's worth it.
Yes, let us know if you have any
Oh
experience
yeah.
with gaming tables, what brand you had or have, and your experience with it. I know you've
Hmm.
been interested in what is it, game toppers,
Oh
like
yeah.
adds a gaming table top to your existing table, and you've been very interested in that for a while. And if you have experience with that, let us know.
Yes, let us know for sure because yeah, I've just especially since I would probably use this same table, it would have to be relatively large, and that just gets me a little worried in case anything did happen to this table. I don't know
Yeah,
if that would affect having a huge topper, like if then we had to find a different table to hold it, if it'd be
yeah.
hanging over the edges and stuff. I don't know
What's gonna
exactly.
happen to the table? A fight gonna break out, and someone's gonna
Who
slam something
knows?
through it.
Who knows? You
Get
never
pretty
know.
competitive.
We do. But I guess what did you have for your pick of the week, Pepper?
My pick of the week. Ooh, let's see.
God of War, he picks.
I'm not sure. Snowcrest was pretty cool. Earth was pretty cool, even though we only have the VGA version. Bloomchasers is. I like the pieces. I like the pieces in Bloomchasers. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure in this. I mean, maybe Snowcrest. I think probably for a
Yeah.
game. Otherwise, the tables always do interest me.
I like the tables as well, but yeah, I think as a game, I'd either pick Snowcrest or Tiny Epic Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Yeah, the ones I would go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that I'm actually backing anything this week though, so we'll have to see. But yeah, if you've made it this far, give us a like, leave us comments below telling us about your great tabletops that you've got. Whether maybe you use a table too. Do you have a large inherited table from your parents, using their old dining table that your brother-in-law may have put a huge heat stain in by putting what was it, baked sweet potatoes onto the table surface. Oh boy. Let us know if you've had any experiences like that, because I'm guessing if we got a gaming table and he did that, I would not be as happy. Well, not that I was happy with this, but it was an old table at the time.
It's covered up now, and it was
Right.
yeah, not
But
gotten
yeah,
off the rails at all.
no, not at all. But otherwise, we hope to see you on our other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.